Well, of course, we heard the secret ballot vote hearing being debated there at the Constitutional Court yesterday, and judgment for that has been reserved. This in light of the opposition parties wanting a secret ballot in order to pursue their motion of no confidence against President Jacob Zuma. Where do things stand? We're about to find out right now. And joining us for that discussion is Tinashe Chuchu, who is a lecturer at the Wits School of Economic and Business Science. Tinashe, welcome back to studio. Haven't had you here for a long time.
Thank you for having me.
But it was a long court hearing yesterday. In fact, I was tuning in and out because it was so long. But just your thoughts on the issues that were raised yesterday and where you see things standing right now.
Okay. First of all, you will find that Advocate Dalimpofu was saying that the UDM will have to rely on the Section 102 of the Constitution that says that the president can be removed if there is a majority that votes against him, as well as at the same time that majority has to be 200 votes plus one. So what I can say is that I don't see this happening, because if you look at the numbers, they just don't add up. When you look at DA, I think it has about 89 seats in parliament. EFF is about 25 seats in parliament. You have the IFP, which has about 10 seats.
Are you saying you don't see this happen even if a secret ballot is granted?
There's so much partisanship. Right now you find the vice president is saying you should vote in party lines. You also have the other main contender for the ANC leadership, Nkosazana Zuma, who is also accusing the DA of trying to run the country into the streets and courts. So if you find something that is putting the two main contenders together, clearly people are going to vote on party lines. So if you add all these major opposition parties, you only get up to 128 or something. I don't see a 200 vote being passed. And this is the 5th time they are trying to remove the president through a vote in parliament.
Okay, so you're saying that the president likely to stay. But of course, the secession debate is still there. And we've seen Cyril go out and I don't know if I should call it an official or an unofficial launch of his campaign. But Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma also speaking there, drawing potential supporters. So where do you see things standing right now in this Cyril versus Dlamini Zuma? Who do you think is likely to take that?
Okay. At the moment, it's not very clear, though. But when I look at the Vice President, Nkosazana Zuma, you can see that at the moment, it's a bit tricky for either of them to really take sides, because I really don't think they want people to vote on party lines. But this was a special circumstance, right? And I think Nkosazana Zuma, when you look at the numbers, I think she has a lot of support because the youth were supporting her, and a lot of key heavyweights in ANC were supporting her. So right now she is the favorite, to be honest. She is the favorite. But also the vice president has support from unions and also people who are influential in that regards.
And then what do you make of the view? Some are actually coming out strongly to say if the ANC obviously continues in this manner, it will essentially lose votes completely to the opposition. But we've got an opposition now that's fighting its own battles, and I'm talking about the DA and the matter there with Helen Zilla's contentious comments surrounding colonialism in Africa, and the DA's Musi Maimane not being too happy about what she's saying. So that's a fractured party. So do you think that the fractions there in the DA are limiting its opportunity to take potential or take opportunity of, or advantage, that's the word I'm looking for, are limiting its advantage to take opportunity of ANC weaknesses right now?
Yes, that's true, because the thing is there is no conversation that starts by saying colonialism is positives. Like, this can be debatable, but I don't think it's a winning argument, because she was tweeting that people only talk about the negatives of colonialism, but there is, due to colonialism, there is a functional transport system, there is piped water, and there is an independent judiciary. I think that clearly destroyed her legacy, because she's known as the person who fought for the fight for freedom, anti-racism, and all those important issues to South Africans. I don't think this will serve her best interest or the DA's interest, and this is making a bad situation worse. Because if you really look at it, the DA was very strong in the Western Cape, and they made inroads by winning Tshwane, by winning Johannesburg. But now if already you feed into negative stereotypes that are associated with your party. If you remember, there was an MP, a DA MP, who stood next to a Kruger poster not so long ago, and it caused a firestorm of all sorts of accusations against the party. I don't think DA position would get stronger, probably maybe EFF, and it was quite surprising to see Julius Malema and Musi Maimane walking together, marching, but I don't think Helen Zille at the moment is serving her party's best interest.
Well, Tinashe, obviously the political conversation will continue as we go towards that June conference, but for now we're going to have to put it on hold. But thanks so much for coming through. That was Tinashe Chuchu, who is a lecturer at the Wits School of Economic and Business Science.